Hey, what's up, guys? Haven't made a shop update video in a little while, so thought I would make one for you. And while you weren't watching, we added this building. So pretty cool. We got some prep work done out here. We got a good bit of space to get trucks in and out that, you know, they can turn around. We got a real wide opening entry point there. And, you know, they can come in, we can load and unload there, or they can drive on over, pull straight in here, load and unload out here. Or we can have them pull forward and then back in to that door, or they can pull straight in. So we'll get you a little look around the inside of this one. We're just getting the 20 by 20 roll-up doors finished on it. And so we'll give you a look around in there here in a minute. Yeah, this is definitely one of those, quote, hey, we didn't think that through kind of scenarios. Yeah, so there's our big Taylor, old school 52,000 pound forklift. And it's Detroit diesel 2-stroke, but it just works. I mean, it's never not cranked. Yeah, we got a couple of leaks we've had to fix. I think we pulled 2 cylinders off and maybe a couple of hoses, 2 cylinders, and had them rebuilt. But the main issue with it is, you know, we have a single stage mast and it only goes up about 12 feet or something. You know, the bottom of the forks, when they're all the way up, it's about 12, 13 feet, somewhere in that range. So I'm gonna buy a boom for this and get rid of the forks. And so we're gonna go to just a straight boom so we can get 25, 30 feet and lift everything with this from overhead. And because we've got this dilemma, and you saw it there, you know, with unloading that shear. So this guy right here, it's 26,000 pound rated. It's got a 3-stage mast that goes to 24 feet or something like that. So it's good from that standpoint. We can lift stuff from above. But the rating on these, you know, when you get from above, the rating goes down, you know, the further out you go and the higher you go. And this will lift any 5-foot brake and any 8-foot brake that we have. But when you get up to the 10-footers and 13-footers, you know, like that's a 10-footer right there, and then this is the back of a 13-footer right here. They're too big, they're too heavy, and it won't lift them. It won't even lift them from underneath. So we kind of have this dilemma when we get to something that's 10 foot, where we got to get it with the Taylor from underneath. But then you add the shear into the mix. Let me show you a little bit about it. We'll show you this in action here in a minute. Pretty sweet machine. It's for sale, by the way, if anybody needs that. So all the brakes have this lower structure here. And I think technically it's probably not meant to, on a 5-foot brake it's fine, but on a bigger brake it's definitely not meant to be lifting for that. And I watch it, you know, when we lift these things up, I'll look very closely to see if it looks like it's flexing or bowing or anything while we're lifting it. So far, I've not had any issues with that. But here's the problem with the shear. The rear of the shear is open in the bottom. There's no crossbar. So there's no way to get forks all the way under it and lift it up. That's why you saw how we were using that from the back. Once we got it on the ground, then we could come over with the big red Taylor and lift it from the top and move it around anywhere in here with the spreader bar that me and Matt made a couple months ago. And we got it sitting in here. For those of you that been longtime followers of the channel, this was the old shop right here. So this was the outline of it. And so the end section of the old shop, the last 20 feet of it, we took down and we dropped these. Actually, we cut holes in the roof and dropped these columns in through the old roof and built this new section over it. And then once this was all built, the guys came and took down the walls of this section. But you might remember all my stuff. We still use this, but it's not really ideal. We have it all jammed in the corner over here. Bandsaw, we cut stuff on it all the time. And there's our lathe and Cincinnati mill, vertical bandsaw. This stuff is not under power. And a lot of material stuff, you know, from right now, we don't really make too much with it. We have a few internal projects, and of course we have people come for training. But here is that spreader bar that we made. And this is 3/8 wall 4x4 tubing and 1-inch plates that we cut on the laser. And so you can see the 1-inch plates, we have holes in the bottom of each plate for 2 shackles to create a basket for the lifting slings. And that's working out well so far, you know, so we can do 8-foot, 10-foot, and 13-foot brakes, position it, you know, however we want. But on that shear, when we had it lifted, I didn't get a video of that, but once we lifted it, the whole thing with the big red Taylor, that spreader bar was bowing a little bit. Not bad. I think it was fine, plenty safe. You know, you're going to get flex in anything that you pick up that's heavy in a beam, or, you know, or flexing the forks on a forklift or whatever. But so we have this constant ongoing dilemma. The first shears that we got in, I didn't know that they were not open. We had 2 of them show up on a trailer here, and man, it was sketchy. We used the Taylor to lift one side, lift the other side, lift another side to get some 4x4s, actually, is what we used underneath the forks in the rear. And that was on like a little 8-foot shear. And that weighed probably 14,000 pounds. We started lifting up on that, and those 4x4s that we had underneath the forks going across the rear of it this way, they started bowing and cracking. But we had it off the ground, and we just backed it away and set it down before anything broke, and we got away with it. And but it's super sketchy, so we got to come up with better solutions. You know, we're trying to be a little bit more professional and do things a little less sketchy. So let me show you the ultimate goal over at the new shop. You can see it across the way over there. And you see we got glass roll-up doors in here. So we had a 20x20 just solid panel insulated door in here, and we're gonna need new doors for the new shop. So we have a back, I'll show you that in a minute. We have a back exit door at the rear of that shop, and then 2 20x20s in the front. So we took the plain door from this shop and put it in the rear. And so this door and the 2 doors on that building are all glass. And yeah, it's a little more expensive, no doubt. But these doors in general are expensive no matter what. They are not cheap. I mean, the solid one was like 20 grand, and these are like 28 or something with the glass, you know. So yeah, they are more expensive, but we don't have any power and copper pulled all over this building. If you look, you'll see no conduit. We got that light and this light, and that's it. Everything else is just windows. And it's so nice, you know, to be able to work inside of a metal building but feel like you're outside, because you can just look out and see who's pulling up, and it's super nice. So let's walk over and let me show you the inside of the other building. So here's a look at that shear. It's 10 foot wide, and it can shear up to 1/2-inch plate. So we got some 1/2-inch flat bar in there. So let's see what it can do. So here's the door that used to be on the front of the other building, and it's painted brown on the outside, so it matches, you know, kind of the color of the building. But let me just demonstrate. Like, if you look at this, and if you were down here where you couldn't really see the windows, this is kind of your view from the inside on, you know, what most shops have. versus this, where you got all this light coming in. We probably won't put lights in this one either. And we may just put, just a couple of lights in it in case we're over here working at night, which, we're probably won't be in this building at night too much. Not really much of a reason for it. But anyway, it's it. Just open building. And you can see we got 3 machines we took delivery of, and we went ahead and put those in this building because around the day that these roll-up doors were getting finished, or when these landed. And then just within a day after that, we sold the first one of this model, and loaded it up out of here. So let me show you that here in a second. But before I get to that, if you notice, we have crane columns integrated in. Pretty cool. And you can see the crane columns go up like about 22 feet at the top, and we got 30 feet up to there, so another 8 feet. And we're gonna have a 20-ton crane that spans the 100-foot width of this. And to get a 20-ton crane that will span that far, it's a double box girder configuration, and you need about 10 feet of clearance because it's so tall and so big. So, but we can then drive trucks in here, open the door, they can drive straight in. We can come overhead, pick a machine, drop it on, and they can back out. Or they can back in. We've had trucks already pulling in, backing in. And, it's working out good. But here's video of that machine getting loaded up that we shipped out just a couple days ago. So here is another quote, "We didn't think this through" kind of scenario, which is kind of the story of my life. It's always been about taking action and then figuring it out versus, hey, let's figure all this out and then we might take action. And it's worked well for me, like 95%. But there are times when I wish I'd thought certain things through better. But I don't know if you have ever tried to buy a 20-ton, 40,000-pound rated crane that can span 100 feet. But they're not commonly available. The prices are ridiculous. Like the cost of this building, not the concrete, because that was a separate story, but the cost of this building is less than the cost of the crane that's going to go in it. And you're talking about like minimum 6-month lead time and realistically probably more like 8-9 months to get one. And so I got a company in Texas that I can't find a lot of information on them. They quoted me 9-month lead time. They want a 20% deposit. And I just can't do it. You know, I can't send them $80,000 9 months ahead of when they're going to start working on the crane. You know, I offered them to send them like 20,000 to get me in line, and then when they get ready to start ordering materials and stuff, just hit me up and I'll give them more. And they wouldn't do it. And I'm like, all right, well, I need to reconsider this. I didn't really have the money at that time anyway. So it's good that it didn't work out. But anyway, the couple of things, also, when you get ready to talk to someone about a 20-ton crane spanning 100 feet, no one will give you information on the infrastructure. Now, the building kit is engineered for that. Okay, so these columns and the way they're sistered in and the height and all that, you know, was engineered for a 20-ton crane. But the one thing that you can't get anyone to tell you is, what about the concrete? And I got so many varying answers that I just took a gamble. I took some information that I could find, and I went bigger and deeper than what they said. And we're just gonna, you know, like I said earlier, we're gonna give it a try and see what happens. We'll start lifting small stuff, you know, 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 pounds at half the rated capacity, and we'll see how things behave and all that. But basically, under the crane column right here, we have a 3-foot circle pier going down 14 feet. And then under the building columns, we have 4 by 4 by 4 cube here. So it's a round column going down this way, and then it kind of dips over into a square column or pier, whatever you call it. And then we're just 6 inches thick out in the field. I think we're 24 by 24 around the perimeter, and then we have we do have, I think, like maybe 18 or 18 going here. But out in the field, we're 6-inch concrete with you know, rebar, whatever, 1/2-inch rebar on 24-inch centers or 12-inch centers. Like, I think it's 24. So it's the same stuff we've had in this other building, and so far it's been fine with the weight and the forklifts and all that. But we'll see, because we're gonna be getting some bigger machines that are gonna be heavier. But the other part I was gonna share with you that I didn't really think through is the height. And this building is already 30 feet from here. But it really needed probably to be about 40 feet. And this is what I didn't really calculate the math on, because I just don't have the experience. But the tallest brakes we have are 11 feet tall. And you think about the trucks that we load on, they're, you know, 3 to 4 feet off the ground. Okay, so 11 plus 4, you're already at 15 feet. All right, and we have roughly 21 or 22 underhook height on the way the crane, the way the building is designed. And so it leaves you with 3 or 4 feet for rigging. So not a lot. You really kind of, you know, when you sort of do your angles on the rigging, you know, you want to be sort of like at the 60 degree is kind of like the desired angle. You can go more than that, but you severely start downgrading the rating on the rigging when you go below that. So that's why we're putting the boom on the other forklift, and we're going to be getting another large forklift, and it will have a boom on it as well, so we can get bigger brakes. I'm talking about 16-foot wide brakes, 20-foot wide brakes, up to 600, 700, 800 tons. You know, some 80,000 pound machines that we wouldn't be using this crane for anyway, because it's only 40,000. But all of our, like, I'm gonna say bread and butter, the stuff that we sell regularly, you know, 10 foot, 13 foot, 200, 300, 400 ton rated press brakes, we'll be able to get with this crane. Because, you know, a 13 foot, 330 ton press brake weighs about 38,000 pounds. So we could, you know, technically we could get it with this crane, but Anyway, guys, I will overlay a few videos of some of the work on the building that I just captured along the way, and we'll wrap it up. Hope you guys are having a happy Thanksgiving, getting some time off work, time with your family, and we'll see you on the next video with more press brake stuff. Okay, so here's a few clips that are just tacked on out of order. So you're looking at the sheets going up, and as you get to the end, you'll see they poured the slab at night and had a big crew, like 20 guys out there doing the pouring and finishing. There's that big sucker. And then there's a couple more over there. So there's two 20-foot roll-up doors. And this will be the entrance to back a truck in right here. Of course, you got the building beam and the main beam. It's pretty interesting that it's only 4 bolts in each one of them. And then the other roll-up door will be right here. Also, the thought of getting a truck in this one. And then the last section right there won't be covered by the crane. It's just, store the forklifts, store some boxes, whatever. But the crane goes all the way to the end.